So, hello and welcome to everyone to another edition of Island Learning Grenada Sundays. I'm super excited to be back with you. So, please let us know how the sound is sounding. We have some new equipment and we just want to ensure that you're hearing us clearly and so forth. So, let us know in the comments if the sound is sounding good. You're hearing me loud and clear, and I can just adjust on my end here. So thank you everyone for joining in this season of Island Learning Grenada. Um, so we're gonna take the intro video quickly and then we'll be right back and get into the program for today while we continue to build up the live. So share the live, and that will help us to reach our broader audience. Welcome to all our new followers on our Facebook page. For sure, there's lots of new folks we know that are joining since our last program back in February, March of this year. So we took a bit of a break. So welcome to all new followers. We're gonna do a introduction when we get back after the intro, just for all the new followers, and of course, welcome back to all the existing followers of our Facebook page, Island Learning Grenada, as well as those who are joining on the YouTube channel, Island Learning Grenada. So let's go for our quick intro video and then we'll be right back. So thank you and welcome back. Welcome back to, as I said, all the new followers to our page, Island Learning Grenada, and of course to the returning followers of our Facebook page, Island Learning Grenada. If you're also watching on our YouTube channel, Island Learning Grenada, welcome, and it's indeed a pleasure for all of those who are making time this evening to join in to our program, Island Learning Grenada Sundays. Whether you are in Grenada or you are in the diaspora, whether it be UK, Canada, the US, or wherever across the diaspora you are joining, thank you very much for tuning in on our program for yet another season of Island Learning Grenada. At Island Learning Grenada, we are focused on educating on Grenada's rich history, heritage, and culture. This season, we are focused on traditional mass. We are into the Spice Mass season or the annual carnival season in Grenada. So if you are in Grenada, I know for sure you are super excited with all the activities and events coming up for Spice Mass 2023. We're going to highlight some of those later on in our program today, as well as if you are traveling down. I know flights are booked solid, whether you're traveling from New York or you're coming in from Toronto or London, for the events that's going to be taking place in July and August. So this is the start off or the jump off, some education element into the Spice Mass. So the program today will be focused on Shortknee as we kick off our education on traditional mass in Grenada. Also, stay tuned to our program because we do have some ticket giveaways. We have ticket giveaways for the kiddies, the children's carnival frolic later on in the program. So you have to be uh, looking at the program, staying live, tuned into the program so that you can participate in the ticket giveaways to that event. So the kiddies carnival is coming up on Saturday, August 5th at the National Stadium. So we have some ticket giveaways that we're going to do later on in the program. And some lucky folks are going to win some children's tickets to the Kiddies Carnival later on in the program. A little bit about myself for those who are joining again for the very first time and don't know who I am. So I'll give a quick, brief introduction about myself, who I am. So my name is Crystal Simeon. I am Grenadian, born and raised originally from the parish of St. David, the community of Westerhall, Old Westerhall to be exact. And I lived in Westerhall for about 26 years. I'm now based in Canada. I'm a former educator. I used to teach Caribbean history at the Presentation Brothers College for about 8 years. So from 2005 to 2013 before migrating to Canada. I'm also trained as a coach facilitator and instructional designer in Canada, and most recently trained by the UNESCO in cultural and heritage entrepreneurship. My business is Spice Island Digi Content, and we are registered as part of the new cultural and creative industry in Grenada. Again, very kudos to the government of Grenada for kicking off the cultural and creative industry. We're super excited to be part of it and to really truly blossom in it too as well. So a round of applause for the government of Grenada here. Right. So a nice round of applause for the government of Grenada. That's truly awesome, and we're super excited about all that's gonna take place as we unleash the cultural and creative sector in Grenada. At Island Learning Grenada, which is the brand that we're marketing and promoting under, we're about educating on Grenada's rich and unique history, heritage, and culture. So Grenada is unique in many ways, and of course, one of them is our history, heritage, and culture. We have lots of cultural and heritage elements that are unique to the island and unique across the Caribbean to be exact. In terms of history, well, we have the Grenada Revolution, which is the only successful revolution to have ever taken place in the English speaking Caribbean. So, lots of unique aspects of our history, heritage, and culture. We're also super excited with the recent announcement that the government is planning to introduce the teaching of history in schools across the tri-island state of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. It's a long awaited um, element that has been missing from the curriculum of schools for many, many, many years. And true to the transformation, we want to, of course, and let the next generation know where we've come from, our past, our history, our heritage, who we are as a people, how resilient we are as a Grenadian people. And that, of course, will help chat the future of where we go in the next 50 years as Grenada gets to celebrate 50 years of being an independent nation in 2024. So another round of applause there. Excellent. So today's program, we're talking about Shortknee. That's what the program is gonna educate on today as we kick off traditional mass. So before I take our next commercial break, share the program. The most important thing that you can do is to share the program. So whenever you share the program, your friends on your Facebook page also see the program, and that helps us to reach a broader audience. So hit the share button and share the program on your Facebook page right now. If you are viewing for the first time and you've only liked our page or you haven't followed our page, somebody just shared it with you, ensure that you like and follow our page, Island Learning Grenada, to stay updated on all the content that we produce on Grenada's history, heritage, and culture. If you are watching us via our YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the subscribe, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Island Learning Grenada, so that you are notified every time that we go live, and you can always see our latest content right there on our YouTube channel, Island Learning Grenada. So share the program, share up the program. We're going to take our first commercial break before we delve more into traditional mass. Share the program and we'll be right back. Spice out, call Grenada. Join us every Sunday at 7 p.m. Grenadian time for our weekly educational program on Grenada's history, heritage, and culture. Stream live on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Island Learning Grenada. Right, and we are back with the program here. So let's get straight into it. We don't want to stick too long, right? So before we get into talking about Shortknee, which is the feature of our program today, we're talking about Shortknee in Grenada. Let's talk about traditional mass because we can't talk about Shortknee without first looking at traditional mass. So before we get into the discussion today, a quick disclaimer. So the information shared is educational. The information shared has been gathered through research as well as reaching out to cultural practitioners within the Trident State of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Matnik. I do not say I'm the holder, the expert of all things culture, heritage, and history. So I do ever from time to time tap to those into those who know more and have been on this earth longer than me in terms of Grenada's history, heritage, and culture. Kudos to Dr. Livingston Nelson. He provided some of the information today on Shortknee mass, which we will share in today's program. So that's the Grenada Cultural Foundation. And we look forward, of course, to working closely with them with some of the content we produce. So that's a plug there. But let's talk about traditional mass. So traditional mass is rooted in the enslavement of our ancestors. So our ancestors came from West Africa. So several countries in West Africa are the homelands of our ancestors. And they include Ghana, Nigeria, Benin or the Benin coast is also one, right? So there are several countries along the very western part of West Africa, which are the homelands of our ancestors, our great grandparents, right? So our ancestors were taken by force from their homelands and brought to the Caribbean, and Grenada is one of the Caribbean islands, to work on the sugar estates by the European colonizers. For us, it would be the British that would have done the majority of the slaves would have come under the reign of the British in Grenada, and there's a whole lot of conversation going on about reparation. We talked about it last season. We may hit again closer to August 1st, which is emancipation, but that's a whole other conversation. So our ancestors, when they came to Grenada, they brought with them their culture and their heritage. Some of this still exists within our own Grenadian culture and heritage today, and the traditional mass and elements of it is such an example of uh, presence of African culture and heritage, still part of the Grenadian culture and to a broader extent, our society. When slavery ended in 1834, so August 1st, 1834, was the official end of slavery. There was a 4 year apprenticeship period. And so officially 1838 was the complete end of slavery and on the in Grenada. Our ancestors left the sugar plantations and they went into what's called free society. So they went, many of them became small time peasants, which is like farmers. They left the sugar estates and went into the community. So many of the very large sugar plantations in Grenada were based in the what you call the rural parishes. So St. Patrick's, St. Andrews, to a little bit of extent, St. David's, the Bailey's Bacolet plantation was a very massive plantation that was later subdivided, right? So the very large sugar estates that had the majority of the our ancestors were in the rural parishes. So by nature, um, our ancestors settled in mostly in the rural communities of Grenada. So one of the reasons why many of the traditional masks, for example, are more vibrant and rooted in the rural parishes, it stems from the history of how it started. The, our ancestors brought it from their homelands. They practiced it on the plantation. After plantation life was done, they went into free society and they settled mostly in the rural parts of Grenada. So the parishes of St. Patrick, St. Andrew, St. Mark, St. John's are very rich with elements of African culture and heritage. So that's a bit of how the traditional mass, the root of it is rooted in the days of slavery and enslavement on the sugar plantation. The traditional mass is known as a protest or Protestant mass. It is really a form of expression which, at its core, is intended to bring light to societal issues taking place. Right? So, the traditional mass, whether it's Shortknee, Veco, the Wild Indians to extent, they, through their chant and through their songs, they speak about societal issues that are taking place within their villages or their communities. So it is a form of expression. It is a protest mass, different from the fancy mass, which is more pretty and so forth. The traditional mass, because of its origin, tends to be more expressive in the way that people speak more about their feelings, and so those who practice it. So that's a bit of the origin of the traditional mass, and that kicks off nicely into our conversation today about the short knee mass. We do have a comment. Thank you, Patsy. Good night. Yes, thank you for the comment. 1834. Yes, slavery ended in 1834. That's when the Emancipation Act was 1833, and 1 year later in 1834 that ended slavery. Yes, so it has been um well over 300 plus years since emancipation, right? So yes, that's a fact. So thank you for that comment. Much appreciated. So let's take a quick commercial break and then we'll get into talking about Shortknee, which is the highlight of the topic today. So let's take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Feel free, of course, at any time to drop a comment, leave a comment, or if you want us to shout you out, let us know that too as well, and we'll shout you out. So that too as well. So let's take a quick commercial break, and then when we back, we're talking about the short knee mass in specifically. So we are right back, and the ad again remind you to follow our page Island Learning Grenada, and of course share the page so that we can the video so that we can reach a broader audience. So let's get into the Shortknee mask. So the Shortknee is one form of traditional mask which is present in Grenada. It is still active. It is not extinct, and we hope very much that it can be preserved and maintained as a form of traditional mass. Some traditional mass, unfortunately, have died out over the years, but those that are in existence still today, we do hope that we can preserve them through education and awareness of what they are, how they are practiced, etc., as well as hopefully bring back a couple which are no longer being practiced, but certainly opportunity to revive them under the cultural aspect of the cultural and creative industry. So let's take a quick look at the Shortknee for those who may be unfamiliar with what the Shortknee looks like, and then I'll get into the content here about the Shortknee. So let's take a look at the Shortknee and get familiar with the Shortknee. Right. So that's the Shortknee mask. For those who have never seen the Shortknee mask, that's a quick video clip of what the Shortknee looks like. So the original name of the Shortknee was the Parrot Grenade or the Grenada Parrot, which comes from a French Creole word which means clown. So for all intents and purposes, in the translation of the Shortknee, based on the origin of the parrot grenade, is that the Shortknee is a clown. Within the West African tradition, though, there is a deeper meaning and symbolism to the Shortknee mask than what it may have been um not degraded to, but in sort of a way by, of course, our European colonizers. The parrot grenade itself, which is one the picture of what the Shortknee mask is today, is no longer practiced in Grenada. It is maintained in some form under the Shakespeare mask that is done in Carriacou and Petit Matnik. So one of the characters under the Shakespeare mask is actually the parrot Grenade. So they have maintained it on the sister isles more than we have had done here in Grenada, and definitely opportunity to bring it back um, as needed. The origin of the Shortknee is believed to be rooted in our African ancestors. So, our African ancestors, those who would have come from southwestern Nigeria, to be exact, would have been familiar with a character. It's a cultural masquerade character called the Igongon. So the Yoruba peoples of southwestern Nigeria, which is one part of Nigeria where our ancestors came from, they have a cultural masquerader called the Igongon. The Igongon is similar to the Shortknee in terms of its appearance, the fabrics and the clothing of the Igongon is similar to that of the Shortknee. In a similar way too as well, the Igongon is a masked character. So one part of traditional mask is that some of the characters are masked, like the Shortknee, who is also a masked character, meaning that their faces are hidden. You cannot see the face of the person playing the mask. So the Shortknee is an example of a masked masquerader, as the face is covered with a wire mask, a wire mesh mask. The Igongon of southwestern Nigeria, similar, its face is covered and cannot be seen. The masquerade is represents the spirit of the ancestors. So part of the West African culture is honoring their ancestors very deeply, and the Igongon masquerader depicts the spirit of the ancestors through the clothing and the fabrics that they wear, as well as their dance and movement. So it is believed that the our ancestors coming from Nigeria, southwestern Nigeria, would have brought that familiarity with the Igongon to Grenada, and it resulted in what today is called the Shortknee Mass, which is played on the streets during Carnival Tuesday, and of course the traditional Mass Festival, which is coming up on July 29th. So here's a picture of the Igongon, just for you to get a quick picture of what it looks like. So that's what it looks like. So in terms of, as I said, it's very similar in terms of the use of fabrics that is used, and of course the face is covered, which has some very much similarity to the Shortknee mass played in Grenada. The Shortknee bands in Grenada, given the origin of how they were started through our ancestors, and they bring in uh, their lives from the plantation into the rural communities where they settled. The parishes today that practice Shortknee Mass would be St. Patrick's, mostly St. Mark's as well. So Shortknee bands can be found in St. John, St. Mark, and St. Patrick are homes to Shortknee bands, such as the Waterloo Shortknee, the Coast Guard Rebels, and of course the Hermitage Shortknee Band. The Hermitage Shortknee Band is the oldest Shortknee band on the island. So it has been existent for over 25 plus years. So it's the oldest Shortknee band on the island, and it is led by a gentleman called Anthony Leke Posso, and he's one of the cultural icons behind of the Shortknee Mass in Grenada. So the Shortknee mass can be found still practiced today through those bands in these parishes in the western and northern parts of Grenada. So let's take a short commercial break and then we'll continue with our learning on the Shortknee. And we're going to take our first do our first ticket giveaway before we get into the rest. We don't want to share too much information, and you can do the you won't be able to answer the question. So we're gonna do our first giveaway right after this commercial break. Continue to share the program once we go on the break, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we are right back. Thank you very much for the comments. Yes, I agree 100%. We are losing our culture slowly and surely. Some aspects of our culture have already been lost throughout the years. So, definitely, greater efforts need to be taken to ensure that our rich and unique culture and heritage are preserved into the next 50 years of Grenada's existence for sure. So 100% agree with that comment. And yes, I 100% strongly feel that we more needs to be done and collectively and collaboratively to preserve our culture and heritage. So let's get into our first giveaway. I don't want to keep you stick it too long, give too much information with all the giveaways. So how the giveaway is going to work? We have two tickets. Right now, we're going to give away two tickets to the Children's Carnival Frolic coming up on August 5th. Uh, on Saturday, August 5th at the National Stadium. It's a Spice Mass event, and we're 100% supporting the Spice Mass Cooperation with their carnival efforts. So, how the giveaway is going to work is the first person to answer the question correctly use the Facebook chat, or if you're on YouTube, use the YouTube comment. And the first person to answer the question correctly would be the lucky winner to two children's tickets to Kitty's Carnival on August 5th, 2023. Right? So we have the question. I'm going to gear up the question right now for you. I hope you've been listening because it's going to be on Shortknee Mass. So I hope you've been listening as I've been speaking here. I know I've been saying a lot, but it's going to be an easy question because I want to keep it nice and easy. So our first giveaway question, again, the instructions. Before I come to the question, I always like to go through the instructions. The natural teacher in me. So if you respond via the Facebook comments, or if you're on YouTube, comment, and the first person to answer the question correctly would be the winner. So I'm just gonna Mary said one person was asking a question. Okay, we're gonna come back to what they're asking, Mary. I have just have my assistant here with me. So I'm gonna tell Mary the answer here so then she can look in the comments and tell me who answered the question correctly. I'm gonna bring on just now. Okay, so the giveaway question, which is the oldest Shortknee band in Grenada? Which is the oldest Shortknee band in Grenada? So the first person to answer the question correctly, you will be the lucky winner of 2 tickets to the Kiddies Carnival coming up on August 5th, 2023. So, which is the oldest Shortknee band in Grenada? So I'm gonna bring on Mary so she could tell me if we have anyone with the right answers yet because I can see all the comments here. Um, do we have anyone as yet, Mary? Unmute and tell me. I'll bring you on quickly.
As so far.
How many people
How
we
many
have?
people
Any?
we have?
Do you have
Do
anyone
you have
yet?
anyone yet? One person said Hermitage, just Hermitage.
But we're not gonna
But
be too hard. No, we're not gonna be too hard on people today. So if someone said Hermitage, is there any a close second to the full answer? No. Okay. So the person who said Hermitage, yes, the Hermitage Shortknee band is the oldest Shortknee band on island. So congrats to that individual. You've just won yourself 2 tickets to Kiddies Carnival. So Mary will reach out to get your information, your number, so we can connect with you to ensure that you have those 2 tickets. Right. So thank you very much for that response. We're not gonna be too tough on people. So the Hermitage Shortknee band is the oldest Shortknee band on island. It is led by Anthony Leke Poso, who is a cultural icon in terms of the Shortknee mass in Grenada. So excellent, thank you. So let's continue on talking about the Shortknee. So the Shortknee is uniquely dressed in colorful attire. So the attire of the Shortknee, and let's just take a quick look again of what the Shortknee looks like. So there on your screen is the look of the Shortknee. So we're going to talk about the clothes worn by the Shortknee because it's very unique in terms of the clothes worn. So it takes 6 yards of cloth to make one Shortknee costume. Imagine that. 6 yards of cloth. So 2 yards of cloth for the pants, 1 yard of cloth each for each sleeve, so the right sleeve and the left sleeve, another a yard of cloth for the bodies, right? And then the upper part, another yard of cloth. So 6 yards of cloth to make one Shortknee outfit. The Shortknee also wear stockings. So they wear a pair of stockings. Although most of the masqueraders are male, the costume of the Shortknee is unisex. Both male and female wear the same costume. There isn't a difference between the male Shortknee costume and the female Shortknee costume. The mass itself is predominantly done by men or males or young boys, but women do play as well as girls. White sneakers is what is traditionally the footwear on their feet. So although that has shifted a little, not being so strict to it being white sneakers, but the full look of the Shortknee mask is that they wear white sneakers. They also have beads, right? So the beads is one that make noise. So they wear beads around their ankles. So beaded anklets is the best way to describe it, around their ankles. And as they stamp their feet and so forth, that carries its own sound. Their face is covered with a wire mesh mask, and that is made by a local craftsman in their community. So the mask is intended to cover their face. So sometimes you see it halfway, but in most times the entire face is covered. And they also use a bath towel, which is usually white in color, that is used to wrap the head. So that's the costume of the Shortknee. In terms of what they typically do. So one practice of the shortening is the stamping or the stomping of the feet, and that is done to make song. So the shortening mass is not a mass where you go here, you go see shortening dancing to soca or whining to soca. That is not part of their practice traditionally. They make their own sound, and they do that by stomping of their feet, and the stomping of the feet in collaboration with the anklets that they're wearing creates its own sound and music for the mass that they portray. Also on their bodies suit, you will see glass or very small mirrors. So those mirrors, the intention is to ward off any evil from approaching the shortening, because the costume itself, in line with the tradition of the Igongon, which is the origin of where the Shortknee comes from. It's about ancestral protection and protecting the spirits of the ancestors. So the mirrors on the Shortknee costume is intended to ward off any evil spirits that come close to the ancestral spirits, which they are depicting in their Shortknee costume. White powder. So everywhere you go, you see white powder, shortening mask, white powder, right? So white powder, the shortening carry white powder in their hands, and they throw that powder as they parade, whether it's on the street or on the stage. White powder is thrown, and the white powder again is a form of a protection to ward off any evil spirits that's coming close to them. Okay. So Patsy, okay, so Patsy Roberts was the winner of the first giveaway. So congrats to you, Patsy Roberts, on winning the giveaway. You're based in the USA. So it's happy to have the diaspora join into our program. Yes, so well, you let us know who in your relatives in Grenada we can give those 2 tickets to. So do connect with us, and we'll give away those 2 tickets to two people of your choice, or 2 children of your choice. That is fine. Right? So that's the appearance of the short knee mask. Again, let's just take a quick look of the short knee mask. So wire mask, cloth, shiny mirrors are part of the appearance. 6 yards of cloth, white sneakers, and of course the beaded beads around their ankles that make the noise as they parade the streets. So that's the appearance of the short knee mask. So let's take a quick break. We're going to take a very quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back. And then we're going to do another giveaway when we back after the break. So stay tuned. Spice out, call Grenada. Join us every Sunday at 7 p.m. Grenadian time for our weekly educational program on Grenada's history, heritage, and culture. Stream live on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Island Learning Grenada. So we're back. So thank you for sticking with us as we continue here educating on the Shortknee mask. So yes, thanks Patsy for the question. So in terms of the powder, so the powder is similar to the mirrors, right? It's used to guard off any evil spirits, so protecting the ancestral spirits of which the Shortknee depicts in their costume. So again, another form of protection. So thank you very much for that question. So we're gonna go now into another giveaway. We have another two tickets to give away to Kiddies Carnival that's taking place on August 5th, 2023 at the Grenada National Stadium. So our giveaway, we have another question for giveaway. So let me just gear up the question here. So the giveaway question again, drop the comment into the chat, or if you're on YouTube, write the comment in. So the question is, name any one item that the Shortknee mask wears. Any one item. We talked about the appearance of the Shortknee mask. So name any one item that the Shortknee mask wears. And whoever answers the question correctly first will be the winner of two tickets to the Kiddies Carnival that's taking place on August 5th, 2023. So, name any one item that is worn by the Shortknee mass. Name any one item that is worn by the Shortknee mass. Do we have any? Do we have any? Do we have any answers, Mary?
Yes, we have one answer so far. It's glass and mirror from Patsy Roberts.
Yeah. We gave Patsy two tickets already. So let's see if we get someone else to answer the question correctly. So again, the question is name any one item. Name any one item worn by the Shortknee mask. Name any one item that is worn by the Shortknee mask. Do we have someone else? Not yet. Name any one item that is worn by the Shortknee mask. So while we wait for our response here, let's continue talking about the Shortknee mask. So the question is still open. We still have two tickets to give away. So we're gonna come back to you. But let's continue with the Shortknee. So the Shortknee masquerader is traditionally moves from one village to the next, and it that was done so that the chutney mass in itself is, as I said, it's a form of protest mass. So one of the actions is to move from community to community, speaking about the wrongdoings that are being done as a form of expression against societal ills. So that's traditionally how the mass used to be played many, many years ago. Um, Right now, the Shortknee mass is more concentrated in terms of the carnival season. You see the Shortknee on the road carnival Tuesday, then you'll see them on the traditional mass festival, etc. But they don't no longer go around the communities doing their portrayal, their chants, and so forth, speaking about wrongdoings being done in the communities. So that has changed over the years. The Shortknee mass is more of a peaceful mass. They don't interact or interfere with anyone. They just play their mass peacefully along the streets or on the stage. They sing their chants. They continue to do that, and their chants include shouting out, and with response is a shout and response form of mass where there is a leader who carries the story, and the followers shout or chant in support of the story that is being told about, reflective of something that's taking place in their community or their village. During Kiddies Carnival, of course, you'll see the Shortknee Mass. They will make an appearance during the Kiddies Carnival on Saturday, August the 5th. The performance is done without music, and that has been the tradition. They don't use any music. They use their voices as their own to make their own sound, and then their feet, the stomping of their feet, so they make their own sound, and the powder, which they powder the stage or powder the place. That is the when you see white powder, check there's a Shortknee Mass taking place, right? So that is the performance of the Shortknee Mass on the streets or on the stage during the carnival time. The mass is played by both adults and children. Um, Mostly, as I said, men, but also women do participate in the playing of the Shortknee Mass. So let's go back to our giveaway question before we show our performance video of the Shortknee Mass. So do we have any other answer? On the question, name one item that the Shortknee Mass wears.
Not at this time.
No, not at this time. Okay, no answer as yet. What people are shy? Why they super shy tonight? Okay, so we're taking a video of the Shortknee Mass, and then hopefully we'll get someone who could answer one item that the Shortknee Mass wears. One item that the Shortknee Mass wears. So let's take in a video and see an example of the performance of what the Shortknee Mass, for those who may be unfamiliar or may be familiar. It may bring back some memories of the Shortknee Mass and how it looks like. So let's take in that video right about now.
Okay. Yes, that's better. Yes, man, that's better.
Right. So that's a quick video of the Shortknee Mass in their full splendor. You see the powder, the stomping of the feet, the chanting. That is the Shortknee Mass in true form. That was on the street of St. George's in that was Carnival 2019 before the pandemic. So that is the Shortknee Mass, right? So let's take our last commercial break and then be right back here. Spice Alcohol Grenada. Join us every Sunday at 7 p.m. Grenadian time for our weekly educational program on Grenada's history, heritage, and culture. Stream live on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Island Learning Grenada. So we are back. We are back. And again, just checking in on our second giveaway. Um, Name any item owned by the Shortknee mask. Do we have any new persons who have responded as yet? No, people are super shy. So that's okay. So we'll do for those who see the rebroadcast. There are still some tickets to be won to the Kiddies Carnival. The show would be rebroadcasted on Wednesday at 7 p.m. So those tickets would be again be up for grabs. So if there is an answer right now to the question in the rebroadcast of the show on Wednesday, just leave the comment on Facebook or on YouTube, and you can be a lucky winner of two tickets to the Kiddies Carnival on August 5th, 2023. The question: name one item worn by the Shortknee mask. So that wraps up the education part of the episode. Today we looked at the Shortknee mask. The Shortknee mask is one form of traditional mask found in Grenada. It is rooted in our West African heritage and continues to be practiced today. There are three bands on island that participate in Shortknee mask, with of course the Hermitage Shortknee Band being the oldest existing Shortknee band. The Shortknee itself is unique in their appearance, their appearance and their performance. Their performance is one definitely to see and ensure to check it out if you want to see it in its full splendor. Check it out on Saturday, uh, July 29th, which will be the traditional mass festival. So the traditional mass festival, I think last year was one of the, I wouldn't say it was the first year, but definitely it was done in a big way last year, and it continues this year to be a highlight of the Spice Mass events taking place. So the traditional mass festival would be a display of all traditional mass bands in Grenada. This includes the Shortknee bands, the Veco. So Veco, we're gonna look at Veco in next week's episode of Island Learning Grenada. We look at Veco, the Wild Indian, Sailor Mass, and much more. These are some examples of the traditional mass bands that you'll see come Saturday, July 29th, at Victoria in St. Max. So that is going to be the location of the traditional mass festival. So it's going to be held in the uh, smallest parish, but very historical and, of course, culturally rich parish of St. Max at the tongue of Victoria, to be exact. So, if you want to see for yourself in full display what the Shortknee mask or the Veco mask or the Wild Indian looks like, definitely check out the traditional mask festival on July 29th. The Children's Carnival Frolic that will take place on Saturday in August 5th at the National Stadium. And you can check out the website of Spice Mass, www.spicemassgrenada.com, and check out the Children's Carnival Frolic on August 5th at the National Stadium. Throughout the season, we'll continue to share some of the other events of Spice Match, and hopefully we'll also have the CEO of Spice Match join us in one of the episodes, the live episodes of this program. So thank you to all those who viewed the program today. Again, this episode would be rebroadcasted on Wednesday. So that's this Wednesday coming up, the 6th of July. Um, the tickets of the giveaways are still available. So if you watch the rebroadcast, just put in your answer into the comments, and you can be the lucky winner of two tickets to Kitty's Carnival taking place on August 5th. Tune into the program next week. We'll be looking at VECO, which is another form of traditional mass practice in Grenada. So that would be the program next week. We hope that you found this episode educational on Shortknee Mass in Grenada. Feel free to leave us a comment if you did find that our program was very informative, because that's the intention of the program, to be educational and informative. A little bit more about how you can continue to follow and support us here at Island Learning Grenada. So you can follow us on Facebook at Island Learning Grenada. That's our Facebook page. So like and follow our Facebook page, Island Learning Grenada, especially if you haven't done so as yet. Secondly, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Island Learning Grenada. So we are on YouTube. Look for us, Island Learning Grenada, and subscribe so that you can view all our content, including these episodes, right on our YouTube channel. We also have classes, so we'll begin offering those classes coming for September on Grenada's history, heritage, and culture. And it's an opportune time, given the introduction of Grenada's history into the curriculum. So if you are interested in our classes, you can register on our website. So the register on our website, I'm just gonna pin our website here. Thank you, Patsy. It was great having you. Thank you very much for that comment. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Patsy. So Mary will just click that comment and we can highlight it. Sometimes that comment that Patsy left there for us. So our website www.islandlearning.gd. You can register for our classes on our website. Go to register for a class, and you can register for one of our classes on Grenada's history, heritage, and culture on our website, www.islandlearning.gd, or you can WhatsApp us on 535-4745. So that's the WhatsApp number, 435, sorry, I missed it. 535-4745 is the WhatsApp number. So you can WhatsApp us if you are interested in our classes, and we'll drop snippets of the video to promote our classes beginning next week, Sunday's program. So thank you all very much for viewing our program today, Island Learning Grenada. It was a pleasure indeed to share information on Shortknee, which is one of the traditional mass forms um, in Grenada, and of course would be on the streets during the events of Spice Mass 2023. We look forward to having you in next week's program, where we'll be highlighting VECO uh, Mass, and I'm excited to share on VECO next week. So thank you. Have a safe and blessed week, and see you next week for another episode of Island Learning Grenada Sundays.